What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday, everybody. It's your boy Said coming to you live here from the lab here in Tampa with a little late night relationship rant. I wanted to do a late night relationship rant. It's one of these nights where I just felt like cutting on the camera and having a conversation with you guys. Not sure how many people are going to be on because it's pretty late, but there's quite a few of you that are popping on here. And I want to talk about the power of real relationships. I want to talk about the power of real relationships inside of the marketing game because there's so many people that don't understand the power of real relationships inside of the marketing game. So I want to have a pretty specific conversation with my people that are in the direct selling arena, in the affiliate marketing arena, in the B2B arena, whatever arena that you're in, because at the end of the day, the name of this game is relationships. The name of this game is relationships. And a lot of people fail to realize, they truly fail to realize how powerful relationships are when you do certain things with those relationships. So I'm gonna have a quick late night rant. So stand by, we're gonna have a little fun. It's been, I don't know, a week or two. Well, I think a couple of weeks since I've been on live. So we're gonna crank these things a little bit up a little bit more. We're gonna take it to a different forum. So I'll tell you guys about that here really soon. But right now, I just felt like cutting on the camera and having a little bit of a late night rant. Every now and then I have these wild hairs in me. And when I have a wild hair in me, I tend to act on that wild hair. So let me act on that wild hair and have a conversation with you guys. So stand by. We're gonna talk to you.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Now, customers are the backbone of any and all businesses. If we want to get more customers, we've got to seduce you all.
You've got to progress. If you want to attract bigger people in your life, then you've got to become a bigger person. You've got to become better at your skill sets. You've got to immerse yourself into personal development. You've got to find a mentor. You've got to find one or two people that have the results that you want.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Sid coming to you live here from the Tampa lab. And I wanted to have a quick late night rant with you guys. Super duper shout out to all of you that are checking me out live. Shout out to all of you that might be looking at the recording. If you're on here live, let me know that you're here live. But I want to have a specific conversation about relationships and the power of real relationships. So for those of you that are here, leave me a shout out inside of the comment section. It helps the algorithm, and I appreciate you for popping on. I know you could have been anywhere in the world and you chose to hang out with me here for the next 10 or 15 minutes or so, and I really truly appreciate that, and I do not take that for granted. For those of you that might be looking at the recording, I appreciate you as well. We might let this video hang out here for a little while. Here in the future, I'm going to be transitioning a lot of my videos here to a different platform. We're going to talk about that, not today, but on another day. But right now, I want to talk about the power of relationships and what you really truly need to be doing with them. We live in a very interesting time, and I want everybody to think about the time that we're living in. We're living in the time of TikTok. We're living in the time of Instagram. We're living in the time of YouTube. We're living in a time of YouTube Shorts. We're living in a time of Facebook. We're living in a time of inbox messaging. We're living in a time of regular Facebook. And the reality, especially when it comes down to a lot of marketers, specifically a lot of networkers, that they totally forget the power of the relationship of connecting with somebody online and bringing their relationship offline. Connecting with someone online and bringing that relationship offline. You see, when you keep the relationship 100% online, you are in the same box with everyone else. Now, I'm not telling you that you need to be connecting with 100% of everybody that you talk that you talk to via inbox, that you talk to every single day in the comment section or whatever the case may be. But there's a significant amount of relationships that you should be looking to bring offline, that you want to actually create, to understand who their husband is, to understand who their wife is, their girlfriend, their boyfriend, their kids, their parakeet, their salamander, the things that are important inside of their life. Because if you do not do this, you put yourself in a box with everybody else. Because when it sits down and comes to leadership, when it sits down and comes to leadership, a lot of the people that are looking at leadership, when they look at leadership, it's very, very key that you understand who those people are. It's very, very key that they understand that you actually care about them, that you actually maybe have spent some time with them, that you weren't just a transaction. You know, I look at a lot of people inside of the direct selling world, and one thing that I understand after doing this for a long period of time is that I have figured out that number one income earner and number one recruiter typically does not correlate. It's very, very few companies. I would say that I think that you can count 4 or 5 or maybe 6 people on your hand that you can say that this person is the number one recruiter and the number one income earner. Now, why is that the case? Why is that the case? Because as the number one recruiter, you can be very, very good online. You can create the Facebook groups, you can create the videos, you can do the YouTubes, you can do the Facebooks. You can have 2, 3, 5, 10 million people reach on Facebook or YouTube or whatever the case may be. But the reality of it is that you don't have a relationship with those people. So you may have sponsored 150, 200 people, 300 people, 400 people, but you don't have a relationship with them. They have followed you. They like you, they adore you, they love your content or whatever the case may be. But what is the relationship? And a lot of times you can lose those people to a relationship with someone else that might have sponsored 20 people, 30 people, 40 people, because they are developing a relationship. They are learning to dig deep with that person. They're learning to get under that person. And you know, it's very, very tricky because it's a fine line inside of the world that we live in, because everything is instant gratification. Everything is instant gratification right now. And one of the things that I pride myself in is knowing how powerful that telephone is. And some people think that the telephone is just really good for apps. WhatsApp message, Telegram message, inbox message, text message. There's people that will look at this video that will get upset. I mean, be honest. How many of you get upset when somebody calls you? It's like, why didn't you send me a text? You get upset when somebody calls you. Like, why didn't you send me a text? Like, why is this person calling me? And the reality of it is that a lot of us have become desensitized. We have literally become desensitized to relationships. We've become desensitized to realize how powerful it is to extend that relationship beyond 6 months, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. You know, I've got a friend of mine that I would literally put this friend up against anybody that has 2 million, 3 million, 4 million people that are following them on YouTube, Facebook, whatever the case may be. This friend doesn't have nowhere near those people. They don't even talk on Facebook, YouTube, or any of that stuff. But because of the relationships, because of the phone calls, because of the connections, he can build a business deeper than so many other people because of the relationships. And I think so many people forget that. So there's this fine line that you got to have the balance of both. Now, this isn't going to be the most popular video. And I will tell you all here in the future, there's going to be a lot of content that I'm going to be cutting here in the future that is not going to be the most popular content. It is going to be content, though, that I feel that the right people need to hear. And that's what's important. The right people actually need to hear the content. If the content isn't for you, then you'll cut it off. It's not for you. Say it, what say it is saying is irrelevant, blah, blah, blah. And that's fine. I'm not your person. There's an audience out there for everybody. It is what it is. I don't live in a lack world, so it's okay. But I think that people need to understand the power of the connections, the power of taking that relationship offline, the power with spending the time with those people. And I'm not saying that you spend 2, 3, 4 hours a day with people, but man, I see so many people that fail to realize that, oh man, I can sponsor 100 people, I can sponsor 200 people, I can sponsor 300 people. You know, in a previous company that I was in years ago, I had 462 personals. And I vowed to myself that I would never do that again. Company before that had almost 1,000 personals. I vowed to myself that I would never do that again. And some of you are like, no, you didn't. You don't know me. You haven't been following me that long. At 1,000 personals. It's crazy. 462 personals. It's crazy. Why am I looking to break a record? What is there to prove? This isn't a Lance Armstrong trying to win a race type situation. Because if you have 460 personals, if you have 800 personals and 900 personals, you cannot build relationships with those people because it's way too many. Now, when you connect with a lot of people online because of your content, whatever you're doing on YouTube, whatever you're doing on Instagram, whatever you're doing on YouTube Shorts, whatever you're doing on TikTok, you're going to attract certain people, yes. But what you have to do is you got to learn to decipher the people that are worthy of your time, that didn't just sign up just to sign up because they were a fan or because they were following you or whatever the case may be. You have deciphered the people that you know that I want to create a relationship with this person 3 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. And one of the easiest questions that you can ask yourself is this. You might want to write this down. It's pretty simple. Some of you still might want to write it down. If I wasn't in business with this person, would I chill on the beach and kick it with them? If I wasn't in business with this person, would I chill on the beach and kick it with them? And if the answer is no, why are you bringing that person in your business? Some of y'all ain't ready for that conversation. Would I chill on the beach and kick it with this person if I wasn't in business with them? And if the answer was no, why are you bringing that person into your business? Why are you bringing that person into your life? Because you could be bringing people into your business, people into your life because you're looking to hit a certain rank. People strive for ranks, and it blows my mind that you want to be this triple galactic ambassador. I'm going to sponsor 500 people this month. I'm going to sponsor 800 people this month. I'm going to sponsor 1,000 people this month. There is no way, no, I'm going to upset a couple of people when I say this. There is no way that you can sponsor 300 people in a month and give them attention. It's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. Well, saying they can figure it out on their own. Okay, well, why did you recruit them then? Because they're going to fall into a black hole. What was the purpose? What was really the purpose? Because it put another number on the board. You got another number on the board. Fantastic. Great. It makes you look good for this contest. Fantastic. Great. It makes you look good on the leaderboard. Fantastic. Great. But that person fell into a hole, a black hole. And when people fall into a black hole, the funny thing about, I wouldn't even call it funny. The interesting thing about people falling into a black hole is that you don't know the relationships that they actually had, that they could have brought to the table because you didn't spend enough time with them, because you didn't know, because you sponsored 300 other people. You sponsored 400 other people. You sponsored 500 other people. I'm telling you right now, I am hard pressed on anybody that is a sponsor monster or a big business builder that can go from January to December and sponsor 50 people a month, 80 people a month, 100 people a month. 12 months later, have 600 personals, 700 personals, 800 personals. I promise you that 80% of those people are falling to the wayside, if not more. And they end up connecting with people that respect them. They end up connecting with people that can spend some time with them. And you don't know what their goals are. You have no idea. Relationships are key. And I think that we totally take advantage right now of real relationships. we totally forget how solid relationships are. Do you realize that that person that joined you in the business, they joined you? They joined you. They didn't join the business. They joined you. They joined you. You could have been selling blow pops, but said they like this particular product. They like you. You could have been selling acid covered chocolate blow pops. There was something about those acid covered chocolate blow pops that they figured that you knew about that maybe they didn't know. So they joined you. And when you think about that, there's a responsibility to that. This is why when you look at low buy-ins, I'm very, very conscious of low buy-ins a lot, because a low buy-in can attract a lot of people, but it's attracting people that are doing things just because there's this low buy-in, and people can instantly recruit people based off of low buy-ins. But what is the long term with those people 3 levels, 4 levels, 5 levels, 8 levels deep? And I'm not talking about any specific people, because Lord knows I've got nobody on my mind right now. Like, I've got no specific company, no specific opportunity, no specific person on my mind right now. So if you think that I'm talking about you or you're taking this personal, that's a personal thing that you have. You should go read the book, The 4 Agreements, and really specifically focus on the chapter called Assumptions, because you're assuming. I'm speaking in general. After watching this game and being in this game for so long and understanding where we are right now and looking at, man, people just don't value relationships like they used to. People value the dollar more than they value relationships. And it's very, very tricky, because relationships, key relationships, can lead you to more dollars. But if you just focus on the dollar all the time, the dollar is going to elude you. It's going to eventually dry up. It's going to eventually disappear. You know, one of the things that I have understood about God, is that He will allow you to do certain things, but when He knows that you're not on the path that you're supposed to be on, He will come in sometimes and just shut the door to that path that you're on. And then you got to recreate. Then you recreate again, and maybe you're still not on the right path, and He'll come and shut that door or create some sort of issue or whatever. And it's like, man, I got to recreate this again. Until you realize the right path that you're supposed to be on, the right message that you're supposed to be sharing that glorifies Him, for number one, and number two, that you're not looking at it from a dollar perspective. I've got to put this dollar in front of everything. So many people put the dollar in front of everything, and then they wonder why it works for 8 months, it works for a year, it works for 2 years, it works for 3 years. Then all of a sudden it's not working anymore. Why is it not working anymore? Have you asked yourself that question? Are you really living inside the purpose that you're supposed to be living in? Or you're just recruiting just to be recruiting because you're really good at recruiting? I took a test yesterday. It was a spiritual assessment test to recognize certain qualities that I have that I need to really, really hone in on, right? And the key ones that were at the top were leadership, discernment, apostleship. And when I looked at those things, right, there was a couple more, but when I looked at those things, it shed some light on some things. I'm pretty good at recruiting. I can recruit. That's not a challenge. If I shut this live off tonight and I decide to go and recruit for a specific opportunity, I can do it. It's not that hard. I still have a very, very strong email list. I can hit a button. I can put together some great copy. I can put together some good videos, and I can recruit. It's not that hard. The trick is am I recruiting for the right reason? Or am I recruiting just to make money? Because if I'm recruiting just to make money, I know deep down inside that I might make the money, but God is going to change it pretty soon. He might let me go for 3 months. He might let me go for 6 months. He might let me go for 9 months. He might let me go for a year, 2 years. But pretty soon it's going to stop because I'm recruiting for the wrong reason. And some of you don't realize that. Some of you don't realize that you have certain gifts to be able to recruit in certain opportunities and certain things. And maybe you're focused on the dollar. You're focused on the wrong thing. You're focused on the new house. You're focused on putting the cash in the bank. You're focused on paying this debt off, or whatever the case may be. And when all the dust settles, the more you can help other people, the more that you're indirectly helping yourself. And if you're indirectly helping yourself, it's a win-win. It helps that person and it helps you at the same time, but you don't have this focus on, I need this dollar. I need to put this 20 grand up. I need to put this 30 grand up. I need to put this 50 grand up. Have you ever had this focus, right? That you need to put 20 grand up, you need to put 50 grand up, and you join XYZ deal or whatever, because you need to put 20, 30, 50 grand up. But for whatever reason, you can never hit that mark. Does that ever happen to anybody? My coach told me earlier today, she said, the world needs more transparent leadership. So I'm being very transparent with everybody right now. And if you're a transparent leader, there's enough people that are out there right now that say things that people want to hear. And I want you to be transparent here. As a transparent leader, have you ever looked at and said, I need to put 20 grand up, 50 grand up, 80 grand up, 100 grand up, and you zoned in to focus on that particular number? For whatever reason, you couldn't hit it. And if you sit back for a second and say, why didn't I hit that? What happened? A lot of times it's because you were building for the wrong reason. You're building for the wrong reason. You need to hit this specific goal and you forgot about the other people along the way. You stepped on all those people along the way so you can get the new house. You stepped on all those people along the way so you can put the 100 grand in your account. You stepped on all these people along the way so you can build the extension on your house. You stepped on all the people along the way so you can put a new car in your garage. You stepped on all these people along the way, forgetting the more people that I can help, the more I'm indirectly helping myself. So if you continue to focus on you versus looking at how can I help these other people, it indirectly happens. God don't miss. You know who misses? You. God don't miss. He don't ever miss. If you think he misses, you should pop off this live right now. Find somebody else to follow. Find something else to do right now. Because you got many other things that you could be doing at 12 o'clock at night, looking at a live with some funny looking bald headed guy with a gold tooth with a teal shirt on. You got something else that you can do. I'm telling you right now, he doesn't miss. So if he doesn't miss, he already knows who you are, what you can accomplish, and what was already written for you. He already knows that. You're the one that doesn't know. And once you figure it out, magical things happen. Oh, I'm saying some stuff that some people don't want to hear right now. Maybe you popped on a little bit late. This content isn't for everybody. Some of y'all got to stop worrying about appeasing everybody that's on your profiles. You want to appease everybody, and the goal is to appease a certain amount of people, a certain group of people that really, really feel you. But you're concerned with how many likes you got. You're concerned with how the Facebook algorithm is sharing all your content, how this algorithm is doing this, how that algorithm is doing that. Keep on focusing on that. Keep on focusing on that. Yes, people make money doing that. They really, really do. But you can make a whole lot more money with impact. Now, can you impact more people with a stronger algorithm? Sure you can. For those of y'all that were getting ready to say that. But said, I got X amount of people that are following me already. Blah, 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 blah. Look, I don't have 20,000 people, 50,000 people, 100,000 people following me on TikTok. If they start following me on TikTok or Instagram or Facebook at that point, I mean, that's great. That's not my focus. That's not my goal. You know, my goal is to impact the people that want to be impacted. whether it's 1,000, 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, 50,000. Jesus did it with 12. You worried about 12 million. The greatest network in the world did it with 12. You worried about 12 million. He did it with 12. From 12 came everybody else. So where's your 12? Don't forget there's going to be a Judas in there. Within that 12, there's going to be somebody that's going to go south. Might be 1 or 2 or 3. It always is. But where's your 12? You know what most people don't have? That want to impact, they want to build these followings, they want to build these big businesses. They don't have their 12. They don't have their 12. I want you to look at your phone. For those of you that are building a business right now, you're building a business and you say, I want to make 20 grand a month, 50 grand a month, 80 grand a month, 100 grand a month. My $1 million question to you is, who's your 12? Who's your 12? Every blueprint that you were ever given, every blueprint that you were ever given, that you ever wanted, was already in the Bible. Every blueprint, it's already written. Now, for those of y'all that don't believe in the Bible, pop off this live. The same for you. But the blueprint was already there. So if there was 12 in that blueprint, if there was 12 already in that blueprint, my question to you is, where's your 12? Now, it might take you 100 to find them because we live in a very weird world. It might take you 200 to find them. It might take you 500 to find them. But where's your 12? Can you identify 4 out of your 500? Can you identify 8 out of your 1,000? Can you identify your 12 out of your 2,000, out of your 3,000? Who are your 12 that are in that circle right now? Who are your 12? Because one thing that I figured out after 20-some years of building businesses is that no matter what happens in a business, good, bad, or indifferent, if you've got your 12, you could change a lot of people's lives if you got your 12. You know what happens with people when something goes up or something goes down in businesses? They don't have their 12. So they got to start all over from scratch. And they got to go and try to get more. Some of y'all ain't hearing me. They got to cut more content. They got to create more YouTube videos. They got to create more TikToks. They got to create more Instagrams. They got to create more Facebook Lives. They got to create these things because they don't have the dirty dozen that have been with them for a year, 2 years, 5 years, 8 years, 12 years, 15 years, 20 years. They don't have that. But then they hate on the people that already have that dirty dozen. Or that they have the dirty dozen and they've created more on top of the dirty dozen. Now they've got a dirty 18. Now they got a dirty 24. Now they got a dirty 36. But then they hating on those people. They're drinking the haterade because they don't have that. When the reality of it is that all you had to do is create the relationships. Create the relationships. Connect with those people. Everybody can lead you to the next rock star. You don't know who that person is going to be. You are 6 degrees from separation from the next person that could change your life. And it could be from somebody that's already in your organization. Period. End of story. But you know what we do? We blow up the relationships. We blow up the relationships. I had a friend of mine call me on Saturday night. I've been knowing this lady for 8 years, 9 years, probably 10, or at least 10 years. We've never been in business together, ever. But because of the relationship, she always checks on me. Because of the relationship, she gives me advice on certain things. Because of the relationship, I can respect her for what she's done inside of this industry. Because of the relationship, her and I can talk. I can come to her house. We can kick it. We can do certain things because of the relationship. Not based on, oh, I'm trying to recruit said. It's not about that. It's the relationship. And she's so smart that she's maintained that relationship for 10 plus years. I've maintained that relationship for 10 plus years. We've shared the stage together at different events, but we never have built anything together. But that relationship has always maintained itself through good times and bad times. And it blows my mind how some people don't realize that some of us have this combination of street sense, book sense, and common sense. And when you combine the three, you become dangerous. Some of us have street sense, book sense, and common sense. And when you combine the three, you become dangerous. So you can smell when people are showing up because there's blood in the water. Sharks always show up when there's blood in the water. But real relationships, they show up whether there's blood in the water or not. That's the part that I want people to get. Maintain these strong relationships. Maintain a relationship with the people that are with you today that might be not with you tomorrow. And there's going to be a couple of people that are in your organization that you don't need to maintain a relationship with. That's just part of life. Everybody doesn't continue to have access to you, and it is what it is. Don't be apologetic for that. If certain people cross certain boundaries, it is what it is. If you have a certain boundary that you have and people cross those boundaries, if you allow people to still stay in your life after they cross those boundaries, that's your fault. That was your choice. That was your choice. So you got to deal with whatever that comes with it. If they got a problem with it after the fact, that's on them. One of the most phenomenal buttons that I've figured out on social media is the unfollow button. I love that button. I love the unfollow button because I don't have to delete somebody. I can just unfollow them and not look at anything that they're saying, because we live in this crazy world where people can post things or say things on social media. And because so many things are based off of assumptions, that you can put up a post and they think that it's about you. They think it's about them. You can put up a post, they think it's about them. They just automatically assume as if they're the only person that's in your world, as if you don't have 10,000 other things that are going on. If there's 86,000 thoughts that are going on in every single person's head every single day, can we please normalize when we put posts on Facebook or post on Instagram that maybe there's an 86,000 plus chance that that post ain't about you? Because that's the reality. That's the reality that we live in. But if you don't, if you live in this world that's based off of assumptions, you don't understand that. If you live in this world that's based off of, let me ask this person directly. Let me ask this person directly, not through a text, not through a WhatsApp message, not through an inbox message. Let me ask this person directly. Let me call this person directly. Are you talking about me? Is there an issue with me? Let's squash this, or whatever the case may be. Let's understand what's going on. We don't live in that crazy world because people got an issue with relationships. People have an issue with relationships and an issue with accountability. So as I close this out, because I'm on a longer rant than I anticipated, if you got any value from this, let me know in the comment section. But you know, at the end of the day, I truly feel like the name of this game of life is called relationships. You know, I'm not gonna get into a crazy amount of details because I'm live, but I was doing some paperwork earlier today and I had to like list some relationships, right? And I'm looking at the relationships that I need to list, and phone numbers, and emails, and addresses, and relationships, right? And I'm like, man, there's so many people in this world that don't pay attention to their relationships, which actually triggered me to do this video. They don't pay attention to the relationships that they have that are so important in their life that can affect them in so many different ways. Some of these relationships are family. Some of these relationships are friends. Some of these relationships are business partners. Some of these relationships are people that you met 10, 15, 20 years ago that were business partners that now are best friends with you. I got a relationship, my man Rusty, I've been knowing Rusty for, I don't know, 5 years, one of my best friends. I've been knowing my man Larry Beecham through business for 13, 14 years. He's one of my best friends. I've been knowing Kendra Phipps, I love her to death. I've been knowing her for 15 years. She's one of my best friends. There's certain people that are in your circle that you might meet from a business perspective that are now your best friends that you can trust in so many different areas in life that go beyond business. It goes beyond business because you built relationships. So as I close out, I want you to think about this. Where's your 12? Where's your 12? Because businesses come, businesses go, things change. But a lot of people that have to reinvent themselves and have to do other things, a lot of them don't have their 12. And the reason why they don't have their 12 or their 15 or their 20 or their 25 or their 30 is simply because they didn't build a relationship. They thought that it was all about the TikTok algorithm. They thought it was all about the YouTube algorithm. They thought it was all about the Facebook algorithm. They thought it was all about the Instagram algorithm. But there's no relationship. So you got all these people following you, but how many of them got your phone number? And how many of the phone numbers do you have? How many of these people do you know what's going on in their world? You know what's happening with their husband. You know what's happening with their wife. You know what's happening with their girlfriend, their boyfriend, their dog, their cat, their salamander, their home, their business, their life, their job. Where's your dirty dozen? When you identify that, man, some amazing things will happen. Because a mentor taught me a long time ago, and I'm gonna end it with this. A really, really big mentor that taught me a long time ago that's worth millions of dollars. And I'm not talking about millions of dollars on paper, because there's a lot of people that, you know, they classify they're a millionaire on paper or whatever the case may be. But man, that's a whole nother conversation, man. That's a whole nother conversation. I don't want to hurt no feelings, so I'm gonna leave it at that. But a really, really good mentor of mine that's worth millions of dollars taught me a long time ago. He said, Sid, as long as you have 1,000 fans, you'll never go broke. As long as you have 1,000 fans. So I want you all to think about this for a second. I'm not talking about when you cut on a Facebook Live and you need 1,000 people following you, 1,000 people looking at the video, 1,000 views. 1,000 views on Instagram, 1,000 views on YouTube Shorts, 1,000 views on your YouTube channel. All those things are great. As long as you have 1,000 raving fans that love you, that rock with you, you'll never go broke. Because from those 1,000 people, by default, if only 3 to 5% of them, if only 3 to 5% of the 1,000 go out there and share your message with the people that they rock with, it creates a compound effect. And if you don't understand what the compound effect is, go get Mr. Darren Hardy's book called The Compound Effect. And I promise you that it'll change your life. I left y'all a couple of nuggets in this video. Hopefully you pick it up. Maybe I'll make it stay public, maybe not. You never know these days. I'm feeling froggy about a lot of different things. With that being said, God bless you all. I appreciate you guys popping on here at 12 o'clock at night. For those of you that are here live, I appreciate you. You absolutely 100% rock. For those of you that might see the recording, if I let this hang up, if I let this stay up, you absolutely rock as well. Leave me a comment in the section if there is anything inside this Facebook Live video that hits you that made sense. With that being said, go out there and make somebody smile today. You already know why. Because they deserve it and so do you. Until the next time, deuces.